Okay, so let's begin with the alchemical prayer as always before we go into the astrology here. So I invite you to turn toward the sun in your location. Put your hands up toward the sun. Open your heart, open your being to the beautiful, light-filled abundance of the sun. And let's say this 3 times together. Dear universe, please send me all of the things that I need and most deeply desire that I do not even yet know are possible. Dear universe, please send me all of the things that I need and most deeply desire that I do not even yet know are possible. Dear universe, please send me all of the things that I need and most deeply desire that I do not even yet know are possible. And then placing your hands on your heart, close your eyes and take a deep breath in, really breathing in all of the abundance that is streaming to you right now. Feel it flowing in. Financial resources, new connections, new opportunities, all streaming into your heart. And then breathe out slowly, slowly, letting that settle in, letting this abundance integrate into your state of being, fully receiving it. Take one more deep breath in, receiving that abundance, receiving the light, receiving the gift of the oxygen. So we are so surrounded by abundance at every moment here on this beautiful planet. And breathing out again, slowly, slowly. And when you feel ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Welcome back. All right, let's see what the month of September will be all about for us. Now, I want to wish you a blessed new moon in Virgo. So that's what we are having today, the new moon at 11 degrees of Virgo. And so this will be exact in the evening, New York time. And so that means it's actually, this new moon will be exact on very early in the morning on September 3rd, if you're in Europe or the UK or further east. And this is our final new moon or full moon before we begin eclipse season. So this is already opening the portal a little bit. Our first eclipse that will be on September 17th and 18th, depending on your time zone, will be with the sun in Virgo and the moon in Pisces. It is the first Pisces Virgo eclipse that we've had in about 9 years. So we're starting a new eclipse cycle here, and this new moon is leading us into that. So very powerful moment we are standing at right now today. So we have the sun and moon conjunct at 11 degrees of Virgo, and they are opposite Saturn retrograde. Saturn is at 16 degrees of Pisces. So this is very interesting because the principles of Saturn and the principles of Virgo are very resonant with one another. They are both about structure, organization, focus, clarity. They're both about work. Saturn and Virgo are both very much about work. So they are calling us up, and this new moon is calling us up to higher levels of structure and building the foundations we truly, truly need. So this is a really good time to focus. I invite you over this whole next week, really let yourself focus. Don't try to be multitasking so much. Don't try to be getting everything done or be good at everything. Focus. Decide on this new moon day. What is most important for you to really focus in on, to really be clear on, and then work on that over this next week and really the next 2 weeks between the new moon and the eclipse, which will be a full moon lunar eclipse. This is a very different energy coming in now than the more scattered and more multitasking Gemini energy we've been experiencing. because we've had the Mars-Jupiter conjunction in Gemini in August, and a lot of energy in that area of the zodiac. So this is a call to focus and step out of the scattered feeling if you've been having that. It's also going to help us step out of any anxiety and ground in with Virgo, right? An earth sign, ground and focus. Now we have an interesting addition, or a couple of additions to this with what's happening in the sky. We also have Mars square Neptune at this time. Mars square Neptune is about the shattering of illusions. So there could be something brought to light where you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that was a lie, or that was not accurate, or that was not what I thought it was. But it's a feeling of like, whew, relief. I see this now. I can move forward in a new and different way because now I see it clearly. Now I can focus on what's really true. So this is very significant, the Mars square Neptune being a part of this new moon. And we also have Mercury square Uranus. Now this, whenever Mercury and Uranus connect, we are opening the portals to the higher mind of the universe. Because Mercury is our mind and our communications, our thoughts, and Uranus is the higher octave of that, okay? And Uranus is very connected with source, creator, higher universal mind. And it's like, sometimes said that Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. I would say the more cosmic, not higher. The Mercury and Uranus, there's not one that's higher than the other in the way that I understand this, but it's that Uranus is like the more cosmic octave of Mercury. So when Mercury and Uranus are working together, we want to always really make space to receive the transmissions, right? So spend time with your third eye, opening your third eye. Have longer meditations today, tomorrow, especially, but again, really these next 2 weeks between the new moon and the first eclipse. We also, there's so many interesting configurations during this new moon. We also have Venus conjunct the South Node and Black Moon Lilith in Libra, right? Venus, Black Moon Lilith, and the South Node all together in Libra. Wow. So, Venus is in her highest point in Libra. Venus is very, very happy in Libra. And so she's going to be guiding us. And the goddesses, Lilith is right there with her. Venus and Lilith are going to be guiding us on our healing journeys, because the South Node is about the past. The South Node is very much about what we need to release. And that's what guides us in our healing, right? So connect in with the goddess if you find yourself in a healing space during these next 2 weeks. Connect with Venus, connect with Lilith, connect with the goddess in whatever way she feels most apparent for you, and let her help you in that healing. So in summary, during this new moon, we want to look out for illusions to come out into the light and be shown for what they are. That can also be happening with the South Node transit, right? So that's the Mars square Neptune, shattering of illusions. But also with the South Node, there can be patterns and belief systems from the past that we've always thought were true. But now with Venus and Lilith assisting us, we can see that was just an old belief structure. That was just an old pattern. It was never true. And maybe we've built our whole life around that old belief system, but now we can get clear and we can focus on what's real and move forward in a very new way. And this can feel difficult, right? The component of the South Node being involved, the healing work, the component of the shattering of illusions can feel difficult, even though it's getting us closer to truth. So this week might feel difficult. Virgo and Saturn are asking us to step up. All of these planets are asking us to step up, and Virgo and Saturn in particular are asking us to get clear, stop messing around, and focus. All right. So trust this process. Know that this is bringing you closer to truth, and also know that we're going to get some really beautiful, smooth sailing vibes next week and lasting for most of September, which I'll tell you about in a moment. So this new moon is an amazing time to set your intentions for greater focus and clarity, work and career, health, and your daily practices, because what we do every day creates our state of health, and organization and creative, positive plans and structures for your life. Okay, so really utilize these energies. It's especially strong today and tomorrow, September 2nd and 3rd, but really you can tap into this all through the next 2 weeks. All right, so here is the chart for the new moon. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I already explained everything in it, but you can see the sun and moon together here at 11 Virgo, opposite Saturn at 16 degrees of Pisces. And we have this Venus, South Node, and Black Moon Lilith line up at 5, 6, and 7 degrees of Libra all together. And also, you know, there's another goddess here, Juno. This is the goddess of marriage and commitment. So there could be healing work to be done around our relationships for sure at this time. And Eros is another relationship marker in the chart. This is an asteroid that represents what we're attracted to. So this whole lineup is really powerful around relationships, commitment, could be marriage, could be refining your long-term relationship. And these goddesses are here to support us. But it is about healing, because the South Node's right here, letting go of the past, letting go of old tendencies. So if anything challenging comes up in your relationships around this time, during this week, really look at, where is this an old pattern from my past that I'm ready to let go of? And maybe that means you can see this clearly and respond differently in that relationship and take it to a whole new level, right? Maybe it means the relationship is the old pattern that you need to release. This can go either way, but know that you are fully supported. So a lot of beautiful, beautiful aspects here. And then here we have, you know, Mars is at 28 degrees of Gemini, squaring Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces, and Uranus is at 27 Taurus, squaring Mercury at 23 Leo. And Mercury will be moving forward more and more into that exact square with Uranus. So that higher mind transmissions piece is really strong, very much for this whole week. Okay, so really utilize that. Now, September is a pretty exciting month, and it's a beautiful month. So September 4th, Mars is going to enter Cancer. Now, in late 2022, early 2023, Mars was retrograde in Cancer and spent 6 months there. So this is going to be a time to review what happened then and make new choices based on what we have learned from Mars at that time. And we're also preparing for another Mars retrograde. Mars goes retrograde every 2 years. So again, in late 2024, early 2025, Mars will be retrograde. So this year, Mars is going to turn retrograde at 6 degrees of Leo on September 6th. And Mars retrogrades are long. They're slow moving transits. So he's going to go all the way back to 17 degrees of Cancer before changing direction and moving forward again on February 23rd, 2025. And with all of this together, you know, from now, from, sorry. Okay, from September 4th, when Mars enters Cancer, he's really going to be in Cancer most of the time from September 4th all the way until April 18th, 2025. So this is a long time. There will be a brief foray to 6 degrees of Leo and then backwards into Cancer in December. But generally, Mars is going to be in Cancer for a long time, really, the next 7, 8 months or so. So with Mars moving into Cancer this month, we will begin to sense what are the themes Mars wants to work with us on this time around, this retrograde, during that time frame where he will be retrograde from December 6th to February 23rd. And then on September 15th, we will have a really beautiful transit. This is just beauty and harmony, and abundance and expansion. This is going to be Venus in Libra, trining Jupiter in Gemini. So this is like a kiss between Venus and Jupiter. And we can think back at this time to the time frame around May 22nd, because at that time, Venus and Jupiter were conjunct at the very, very first degrees of Gemini. And so there were blessings we received at that time. So around September 15th, I invite you to think back to late May. What were the blessings you received then? Acknowledge them again with gratitude, and then look at how you're meant to take those blessings and carry them forward. Maybe you forgot about them. Maybe they got kind of lost in the shuffle. Well, let's bring them back out of the drawer, those blessings that you got in late May, and carry them forward and really acknowledge them anew now. So that's a beautiful energy. Okay, now the eclipse. Of course, there will be two eclipses. The second one I'm not going to mention yet because it will be on October 2nd. So I'll talk about that in another video. But this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces will be on September 17th at 10:34 p.m. New York time. So that will be September 18th in Europe, the UK, and further east. And this is a North Node eclipse. So it is a very positive energy. It is a very future-oriented energy. And this eclipse is going to push us to claim what we want to create going forward. Remember that this is the first eclipse that we'll have on the Virgo Pisces axis in about 9 years. So it's been about 9 years since we've had a Pisces Virgo eclipse. We've been having for about the last year and a half all of our eclipses in Aries and Libra. And that axis is beginning to shift now into Pisces and Virgo. So this is very exciting. We get to work with the Piscean themes of spirituality, oneness, imagination, vision, multidimensionality, and compassion, caring, and kindness toward others. And remember that Pisces is the 12th zodiac sign, so it holds everything in all the other zodiac signs. And so it's very cosmic, it's very multidimensional, it's very vast. It's like all the multiverses are there in Pisces. So this is why it's about the spirituality, the oneness of all, really recognizing we are truly all one. Our imaginations, our visions, right? All of this we can work with. It will be very, very accessible to us on this beautiful full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. So we'll have the sun at 25 degrees of Virgo, the moon at 25 degrees of Pisces. The moon will be conjunct Neptune and sextile to both Pluto and Uranus. Very harmonic relationship with the outer planets. I'm going to talk about that on a whole separate slide because it's really important. And we will have Mars exactly square the nodes. So this is bringing in our destiny point. So it's like the sun and moon are aligned with the nodes, and then Mars is squaring that. So Mars is saying, hold on, take action related to your destiny at this time. Right. And we are going to feel that really strongly, a strong need to take action towards our future on this day. We will still be in the energy of Venus trine Jupiter, which is amazing. We will have Mercury opposite Saturn at this time. That's a little more challenging. It could be, this kind of lines up with Pisces though, and Saturn's in Pisces. Mercury and the ability to think clearly, and all the Virgo themes of focus and clarity and organization could be difficult to access on this day. But really, what we want to be doing this day is not so Virgoan. It's more of the Piscean, right? Really connecting with the vastness of all that is, and how does that inform our future, and what is our vision for the future? But thinking about, your to-do list might be really hard on this day with Mercury opposite Saturn. Thinking about the little details, this is not the day you want to organize your closet. Okay, this is the day you want to be like out in nature, just opening yourself to the vastness of creation. So this opens the eclipse portal, and that eclipse portal will last for 2 weeks from September 17th to October 2nd. This is also very much aligned with the equinox. The sun enters Libra. We have the equinox on September 22nd. Also on that same day, Venus enters Scorpio, which is a little more challenging because Venus is very happy in Libra. Venus has a harder time in Scorpio. So we'll enjoy the Venus in Libra while we can, and she will be in Libra during this eclipse. So here's the chart of the eclipse, and you can see we have the moon in Pisces at 25 degrees, conjunct Neptune. The sun is at 25 degrees of Virgo. Here we have Mercury at 14 Virgo and Saturn opposite that at 15 Pisces. And the Venus at 23 Libra, trine to Jupiter at 20 degrees of Gemini. That trine is still pretty strong at this point. They're moving, Venus is moving away, but it's still within 3 degrees at this point. And the North Node is here at 6 degrees of Aries. So you can see this is the North Node, full moon eclipse. Very powerful, very important day. So really make space on this day to go out into the multi-dimensions. You don't want to miss that opportunity. And I want you to note here on this slide, what I'm going to talk about next here is that the moon and Neptune here, 25 and 28 degrees of Pisces, are sextile to Saturn, I'm sorry, sextile to Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn here, and sextile to Uranus at 27 degrees of Taurus. So these 3 outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, are forming trines and sextiles with one another all throughout the month of September. This is very harmonic and favorable. So let me tell you more about that. So as you just saw in the chart, all throughout the month of September, we will have Pluto at 29 Aquarius, sextile Neptune at 28 Pisces, sextile Uranus at 27 Taurus, and that puts Pluto and Uranus into a trine as well. They move very slowly, so they stay at these degrees for the full month. Now, this is an extremely positive and harmonic energy that is going to be guiding us through the eclipse portal because that lunar eclipse is conjunct Neptune. And so it's a vital part of this whole lineup of those 3 furthest outer planets. How amazing. So these 3 outermost planets are working with us very strongly and preparing us for a major event that's coming up. That's kind of getting started now in 2024. As we know, Pluto's been moving into Aquarius, back into Capricorn, back into Aquarius. But from 2024 to 2026, we're going to have those 3 outermost planets all moving into new signs. So Pluto will move fully into Aquarius. Neptune will move fully into Aries by 2026. And Uranus is going to be moving fully into Gemini. Now, these outer planets don't change signs very often. This is a really rare configuration for all of them to change signs so close together. And we will have Saturn conjunct Neptune as Neptune moves into Aries. So I have a lot more to say about that in future videos as well, but this is big and this is significant for our collective future. And not only that, but also Mercury is joining this lineup. So on September 23rd, Mercury comes to 25 degrees of Virgo. If we go back to this chart, we can see on the lunar eclipse, Mercury will be at 14 degrees of Virgo. So he's moving forward at this point about 1 degree a day. So by the 23rd of the month, Mercury will be at 25 degrees Virgo. And so then he is trining Pluto and Uranus. So Mercury, Pluto, and Uranus, all in Earth signs, all in the late degrees of the Earth signs, are forming a grand Earth trine. How incredible. And Neptune is in harmonious aspect to that. So this Mercury coming in to highlight all of it adds a greater harmonic energy and adds a more personal energy, because the outer planets are very much about what's happening in the big picture, what's happening in the collective. But Mercury, being the closest planet to the sun and very close to the Earth, makes it personal for us. So this harmonic energy becomes personal, especially between September 23rd to the 26th. This is an incredible energy. So this is a beautiful time of all possibilities opening up for us. right in the center of the eclipse portal. Wow. um, just really take that in and really make space in whatever ways you can for the second half of September to be able to receive all of this, to be able to be in that harmonic space. We've come through a lot of really intense events and astrology and feelings within ourselves in July and August. September is this incredible harmonic point where we get to deepen, we get to connect with the vastness of all that is, we get to feel our oneness and feel the beautiful new future that these outermost planets are working on bringing us at this time. So it's going to be an amazing month. And just remember that it's okay if the first week of September feels hard. Remember, it's showing us what's really true. It's shattering the illusions. It's helping us get organized. It's helping us get focused so that we can be in a good place to receive all of this from the eclipse portal, from these harmonic outermost planet alignments and the Mercury coming into that. It's so beautiful what's coming up later in September. So really make space for it. Pay attention to what you're asked to clear or release or get focused about in early September in this first week. Use this new moon today to set your highest intentions for all of this. And it's going to be beautiful. I'm really excited about this month. So let me stop sharing for a moment. And I would love to hear your thoughts and reflections about this. Could you put in the chat? How are you feeling? What do you think? How is this resonating for you? Rebecca is asking, are these new illusions to us or are they things we have already had questions? Yeah, it's things you already know about, but you might not have known it was an illusion. Okay. It's not like something totally new is just gonna hit you in the side of the head. It's not that kind of thing, but it's more like, oh my gosh, now I see what's happening here. Like this has been going on for a while and it's been really confusing. And now I see what's happening. Now I got it. Okay. Now I know how to focus and move forward. It's that kind of thing. Yeah. Great question. Barbara says, I'm a Virgo sun. I also have Saturn and Jupiter in Virgo, all in the third house. Yeah. Okay. So this is an important month for you, Barbara, and an important new moon for you. Beautiful. Melanie says, I can feel it coming, but I'm not sure what and how to focus on. Yes, so that's what this week is going to do for you, Melanie. Really pay attention to what happens this first week of September. It's going to tell you what to focus on. All right, really trust by the end of this week, once Mars and Neptune do their dance and Mercury and Uranus do their dance, you're going to say, oh, okay, I see. Right. This really, everybody, by the end of this week, you're going to be going, oh, I get it. Oh, now I can see. Okay. So yeah, hopefully I would love to hear where you all are a week from now or a couple of weeks from now with that information coming in. It's going to be pretty interesting to see. Angela says, this is a very beautiful way at looking at these planets in retrograde during the US Pluto return. I would rather see things this way than having fear in my heart. Yes. Here's the thing, guys, you got to remember that these people out there on YouTube and whatever else, wherever else we're getting the information from, they're going for the scary headlines. They want to get views. They are over dramatizing things. This is happening en masse in our world right now. Things are being over dramatized. I'm not saying dramatic stuff's not happening. Yes, there's a lot of dramatic stuff happening, but then these people trying to get the ratings, trying to get 50K views on their YouTube video, are making it sound like every day is going to be an apocalypse. Like every day they say tomorrow is going to be the apocalypse, and it's not true. That's not what's happening. We're being guided. We're being assisted in these incredible up levels and these incredible waves of change coming through. It's not the end of the world. It's not apocalyptic. I mean, there is a lot happening in the US, so it's very evident that it's the US Pluto return. And yeah, this election in November is going to be super, super catalyzing and intense. But we don't need to have fear around it. So thank you for bringing that up, Angela. That's a really important point. We don't want to hold fear. Fear is not going to get us where we need to go. We need to hold the light. We are the light workers. That's what we're here to do, right? So really, I really recommend, and I have already done this because I can feel the effect of it in my nervous system. Stop watching the alarmist YouTube videos. Stop watching the YouTube videos that are about whatever the latest apocalyptic topic is, because it affects our nervous system. It affects our ability to ground and be at peace and calm and focused. So don't let people take you off your center like that, really and truly. There's no need for that. We want to stay in the light. We want to stay grounded. We want to stay at peace as much as we possibly can. And then we create the brighter future. That is how we do it. So that's a really important topic. Yeah, Melanie, I've been seeing, I've been reading articles about this. So Melanie says we're in a shock state in Germany. In two countries, very right-winged parties, or two counties, very right-winged parties have gained the elections yesterday. Yes, yes, I know. Let us all send light and love. And I don't know a lot about the politics of Germany, so I don't want to say anything beyond, the bounds of what I understand. But let's just all send love and light for the highest outcomes here. And that is shocking. And, there's so many of these elections happening this year. And in recent years, we have this huge one in the US coming up too. We will see what happens. We've got to trust. We've got to trust whatever comes through. Part of this, the shocking things that are happening in the world, part of it is because humans need to wake up, right? And we need to really see clearly what's wrong so that we can know we have to fix it. Not just us light workers, because we're seeing it ahead of time. We're seeing it ahead of the others, but everybody needs to see it and realize this can't go on like this anymore and we need to fix it. So then unfortunately, sometimes some really difficult things have to happen, but it's to awaken it in the collective consciousness. And so that part is really not easy. Okay, let me see. So Anisha, I'm sorry you're not feeling good, Anisha. This year has been such a tumbleweed kind of time for me. Yeah. Yeah, Anisha, I think you're being rebirthed this year. So we can look at your chart today if you want. But yes, it really trusts the journey. And we're going through these major initiations in our personal lives, as well as what's happening in the collective. Let's see. Melanie says nobody has believed that it really could happen. Fortunately, nobody is cooperating. Wow. Very interesting. Yeah, I will keep sending prayers and love and light, Melanie, for the highest outcome there. And Melanie says it is the kind of forces that people wake up. Yeah, we need to wake up. Big movement for democracy. And Rebecca, I'm not sure if you're asking a question here. So just for clarification, we will need to stay in the bigger picture or in the smaller details. Well, this first week, be in the small details. The next week is kind of a bridge between the two. And then that following week, the week of the 16th, that will include the eclipse, be in the vastness and the oneness. And the week after that, same. It's a big shift throughout September, but it is all guiding us. Okay, so I hope that's helpful to you all. And come back and watch it again. I feel like there's a lot that came through there that maybe might sound different a week from now, if you listen to it again. So